A video from Ukraine's 5th Separate Assault Brigade on Monday shows Ukrainian drones flying straight at Russian troops, attempting to break through Ukrainian defenses on dirt bikes near Kramatorsk in Ukraine's eastern Donetsk region. After artillery cluster munitions failed to stop numerous Russian troops attempting to break through Ukraine's defenses on dirt bikes, the defenders decided to take them on directly with FPV drones. In the video, published by the brigade's press service on Telegram, Ukrainian reconnaissance drones are seen to have spotted 4 motorcycles manned by Russian troops advancing on their positions. As the 4 bikes approach a 3-way junction, multiple explosions, presumably from cluster artillery munitions, are seen landing around the bikes without hitting them. Further explosions around the junction soon follow, also without hitting the bikes, and the Russian troops, after slowing down temporarily, press on. The video then soon cuts to another brief clip showing a first-person view FPV drone flying straight at a soldier on a motorcycle, probably from the same group seen earlier, followed by more clips of Russian troops running on foot with their motorcycles abandoned in the background. The soldiers are then picked off one by FPV drones as they run across barren fields. A clip taken from a drone's point of view sees it zooming in on a fleeing soldier before the image turns to static as it detonates. The video features more than 4 further explosions, likely aimed at Russian troop reinforcements, according to the military news outlet Militarny. In one instance, a Russian soldier can be seen kneeling on the ground, his clothes on fire, as he attempts to stand up after being targeted. In the last clip featured in the video, a drone can be seen tailing one of the Russian soldiers on his bike before another drone approaches from the left, sending the soldier, or whatever was left of him and his equipment, into the bushes to his right. Russian troops commonly use on the front line, likely hoping that to their smaller footprint compared with armored vehicles will help avoid detection while allowing them to advance faster than on foot. In April 2024, Russian troops were seen advancing on Chinese-made motorcycles and golf carts. Unless supported with adequate suppressive fire, troops carrying out assaults in this way are often sent to their doom. As noted in a July 2024 analysis on Russian assaults near Vuhledar. On 30th of January, from the Pokrovsk direction, Russian assault units attacking Pokrovsk faced severe size restrictions, limited to 4 soldiers each due to insufficient cover in devastated villages along the approach. Here, the Russian forces launched a bold push toward the outskirts of Pokrovsk, aiming to establish a crucial foothold for future operations. However, with razor wire blocking their path and piles of Russian bodies scattered across the fields, the relentless assaults only feed the growing carnage in front of the fortified Ukrainian lines. The primary objective of the Russian attacks is to secure a foothold on the outskirts of Pokrovsk, to amass forces and equipment for future offensives. However, their advance on the western flank is hampered by stretched logistics, open fields, and limited infrastructure in villages already devastated by fighting. The few remaining structures in these villages are insufficient for assembling larger forces, restricting assault units to just 4 soldiers each, while units advancing across open fields remain under constant fire. The main target of the Russian assaults is the village of Dnipro, which together with several other villages form an urban agglomeration as a part of the city outskirts. For this effort, the Russian forces are trying to deploy as many mechanized assault units as possible across the open fields, deploying them now, since they will be mostly ineffective once the urban fighting starts. The main advantage for Russian forces in this area is their logistical hub in Shevchenko, just 2 kilometers from Pokrovsk's outskirts. Additionally, 2 hardened roads connect their positions to Dnipro and Pokrovsk, providing favorable conditions for their attacks. However, if we look at the topographic map, we can see that the Ukrainians hold a significant advantage as Pokrovsk sits at a higher elevation than Russian positions in Shevchenko and near the roads, enabling Ukrainian forces to maintain fire control over these routes. High-rise buildings in the city's southern part provide excellent vantage points for observing Russian movements and deploying reconnaissance and strike drones. Lastly, the city's extensive infrastructure allows Ukrainian forces to concentrate troops and equipment, effectively countering Russian advances with all necessary weapon systems. With this in mind, the Ukrainian forces positioned ATGM systems, including javelins, to meet the Russian armored columns during their advance, utilizing their higher elevation and expanded field of view to effectively target and eliminate them. To further increase the chances of a successful destruction of Russian armored assaults, the Ukrainians set up razor wire defenses across the fields and roads in front of Pokrovsk and Zvirove to slow down the Russian vehicles and infantry for more effective targeting and destruction. Combat footage from the area reveals the destruction of a Russian column in the area by Javelin anti-tank systems, which effectively struck the Russian tanks and armored vehicles while crossing the open fields. This led to severe losses among the Russian mechanized formations, as many of them were already destroyed on the approaches, and before they could breach a gap for the infantry to exploit. This left only the surviving Russian foot soldiers to approach the razor wire defenses and cut them to open a gap. However, Ukrainians maintained constant surveillance of their defenses and concentrated their drones on the Russian breaches, creating absolute kill zones for Russian soldiers. Overall, the Russian forces tried to intensify their direct assaults on the city of Pokrovsk to establish a foothold in the city and improve their logistical situation. However, the Ukrainians took advantage of their superior tactical positions and utilized the heights to eliminate the advancing Russian forces with ATGMs, as well as in meticulously planned defenses and kill zones. Ukrainian success at repulsing this large mechanized attack will force the Russians to rethink their plans for direct assaults on Pokrovsk, while the Ukrainians additionally reinforce their already powerful defenses.